can actually reverse the bees out that we're missing. Specifically, start at the very beginning. Why should we be monitoring these bees? We have to appreciate we're all talking about food, but these bees are also providing the big leaf maple. They're also providing the seeds for the quail and the mice that are out there. I mean, bees are everywhere. The honeybee, I accept, is the de facto pollinator of the world. Everyone knows about it. All bees make honey. Get that. But we're starting to see that slip. That myth is kind of disappearing a little bit. Recent research is showing that in a 1 kilometer radius, that the honeybee starves the native bees and spreads their diseases to the native bees. What I firmly believe is that the bees that are local to an area, in a tight region, are the bees that should be best used there. Okay? And even going a little further, we're looking at recent research, Dr. Lucas Garibaldi out of South America. When they're counting the density of bees in a crop, they're finding significantly more yield. And he pointed to the crowd, I was there in Minneapolis, and he said, and I'm not talking about the honeybee. If we're tracking food, the World Resource Institute's suggestion that between 2016 and 2050, we need 69% more calories. That's a big statement. We can do that with bees, honestly. It's not that tough to do. But when we're talking about monitoring the bees, I'm looking for bees that can actually be used in fields. Most of the bees on the ground we accept 70%, 80%, whatever the number is. But you can't take that scoop of ground out there and move from point A to point B. You just can't without crushing the cocoons. Bees that can be used that put inside holes, small, medium, and large. You're looking at pith bees, the Serratina, you're looking at the carpenter bee that can go into boards. If we can move them from point A to point B, those are bees that are useful in fields. It also allows us, this monitoring allows us to find the regional bees. I'm looking for the most prolific bees of Toledo, Ohio, of San Diego. Those are the bees that are already there that would be helping out in those crops. And monitoring can allow us to do this. And by talking in a second, propagating these bees, this is the future of food production. What information is needed for these hole nesting bees? What size hole? Small, medium, or large? What's the chamber division? Is it mud? Is it resin? Is it leaf bits? Is it chewed up vegetation? When do these bees emerge? What causes them to emerge? What's their life cycle? They overwinter as an adult or as a larva. These things matter to when the bees show up. Are they generalists? Are they specifics? Or specifics? And then really what we're looking for is the most prolific bee in each region by the season. There's a difference between a spring crop and a melon crop. The data, short term, this nesting material divisor really helps us figure out what bee it is. For example, if you've got a resin divider, I promise you, if you're in the middle of a Target parking lot, there's no resin tree around, you won't find that bee. Look for the tree that has that resin, you'll probably find the bees around it. We need generalists. Those are probably the best for our farm fields. And then knowing when those windows are allows us to figure out what hole nesting bee can pollinate that crop. In the long term, we need to have a little more targeted research on the bees. How best to propagate that bee of Toledo, Ohio. How best to manage that bee for overwinter. How to release it and how to position these things in the crops. Crops are different, but I've got strawberries, raspberries, or an orchard. It's all different. How do we track these bees? What's an attractant? I love working with Teresa Pitzinger's. She's got a great pheromone that's working for the osmia species. Great stuff. What's the impacts of the larvicides, fungicides, herbicides? All those things are different for the different types of bees. It's not just based on the honeybee. We have to be aware of that. And as we move to manage these species, we have to appreciate we're now starting to do monoculture of bees. We're going to get pests, we're going to get diseases that we'll have to be cognizant of. These are all long-term focuses. Why is propagation important? I just want you to appreciate that there's 2 times to plant a cherry tree. 20 years ago and today. So similarly, 20 years from now, 2037, we hopefully will have found the hole nesting bee species. We'll have researched them, we'll propagate them, we'll actively have these bees inside our orchards. It's important that we find full nesting bees, learn their requirements. We're going to be partnering these bees into the crops. So why am I here from Seattle all the way out to DC? Science is awesome. We work with the Logan Labs, Fargo Labs, UC Davis. There's some great research out there. We listen. If there's a gap, we're trying to plug that gap. There was no Mason Bee organization. We founded that, got that going. We now got a lot of professionals working on it. I work on a project ICP with Rufus Isaac. I am unbelievably disappointed that round 2 hasn't been funded. It's a really big piece. More importantly, we're connected with social media. We're getting the public to realize there's more than one bee out there. We're working with ACGA, American Community Gardeners Association. That's 1 million community gardens that are now just starting to learn about native bees. We're working, we just had a giveaway for Old Farmers Almanac. 20,000 people buy to understand what's a leaf cutter bee they've never known before. Just one piece, give me one more piece. We've already got a program. We've got 25,000 gardeners already started. So we're calling it Connected to the Native Bee Network. They're all considering putting 4 millimeters, 6, 8. We've got a variety of holes out there. These people are putting the holes out at the beginning of the season, taking them in the end. We're looking to ID these things in the middle of winter, and then put the cocoons back out. This is propagation. On the exact same note, on the conservation side, we need to be doing this in almost every county. A little more commercial level, where you've got holes out there, but the districts are already there, your extension services are already there. Put these holes out in the field, bring them back in the winter, ID the bees, and begin that short-term analysis. Our future of food needs full nesting bees. We've got to start now. We've got to understand about propagation, not just monitoring. We should be working with both sides.